You're live.
Thank you. Hi there. Welcome to the YBNB show. And I'm sitting here in Hyde Park. I'm distracted at the moment by a drone that's going by. This is what I love about being in central London. It's the most beautiful park next to probably one of the busiest junctions in the country. And over opposite me, there's a couple having a glass of champagne and got their own waiter there. And then the other side over there is a drone buzzing about I'll just show you quickly. So yeah, the drone belongs to someone else. And yeah, it's beautiful here. But I thought I'd just stop to share a couple of thoughts that really resonated with me today for you, because it's Wednesday, it's Mindset Day. And very often we talk about and I think we're number 86 actually. So sometimes I forget what I've actually spoken about, but I don't think I've spoken about this particular thing on the live before. What we have spoken about a lot is goals, visions, making things happen, and being clear about what you want and all of that stuff. But I spoke with one of my coaching groups last week about sort of turning that on its head and thinking about, rather than reaching for the stars and reaching for particular goals and creating visions, to actually think about it the other way and look at, what's your minimum standards? What's the minimum standard by which you want to live in every category, whether that is, money, success, the way that you want to feel, the strength of your body, weight, things like that. Because if you start looking at it from the lowest level, your minimum standard, sometimes it's a bit easier to sort of raise that than it is to reach for the stars. And apparently we as humans will still do more to run away from our fears than we will to achieve our dreams. And I've spoken before about the thermostat concept. Tony Robbins talks about this a lot, where each of us has a sort of an upper limit. It's also spoken about by Gay Hendricks in his book, I think it's called The Big Leap. They talk about the upper limit problem, the fact that, we are conditioned, we've been conditioned by our background and influences all around us to decide what is the best that we as individuals can achieve. It's different for everybody, but we've been conditioned to agree an upper limit, even though we might not be conscious of it. That could be to do with money, fitness, loads of things. And we sort of self-sabotage as a result of that very often and decide, hang on a minute, I've achieved enough of a level of success, or, I've got enough money in my bank account now, and we hit that upper limit and we start sabotaging. The money in the bank account thing means that we start going and buying silly things, or it starts to do sort of particularly well in our career, and we stop pushing quite, being quite so diligent, let's say, or getting up quite so early. We hit a better level of fitness than we ever have done before, and suddenly we go off the rails with our diet. That's the upper limit problem that people do, many of us all of us experience at the time. But the lower level, the lower level of the thermostat, we don't talk about so much. The same thing happens there, that we've all got what's called a panic number with everything. If you look at your bank account over the last sort of 12 months, you'll have probably a number we've all got. It's all different for everybody. That is the lowest that we feel comfortable with in terms of money in the bank. And if it goes to that or even goes lower, then, we really pull the stops out. We do everything that we can. We'll probably sell more, probably work harder, probably get in our routine, all of that. And the panic number is different for everybody. And you have like an upper limit and a lower limit. And what you find is you tend to trundle in between, and that's sort of the area of mediocrity. And so, and that applies to loads of things. Like you have a panic number for your weight, probably, whereby it's different again for everybody, whereby when it hits that particular number on the scale, we do something about it. A panic number for how we feel, the amount of sleep that we get, loads of things. So I just wanted to sort of say to you today, what are your minimum standards? What's your panic numbers, as it were? And a really good way to make progress is just to sort of consciously identify what they are and then say, okay, well, I'm going to increase those panic numbers or raise those lower levels from now. So say, for example, just for argument's sake, for ease, that your lowest your panic number in your bank account is £1,000 or $1,000, make it 1,500. Or if your weight, is a particular, I don't know, 60 kgs, and you don't really want to go, that's your panic number, then make it sort of 59. If it's, that you think it's okay to, in your romantic relationship, just to sort of sit and watch telly the whole time and think it's all great just because you've not had a row, maybe change it to say, well, the minimum standard is you have one sort of nice dinner together per week or something. So just starting to think about your minimum standards can really, really help you make progress without having to constantly produce, big sort of visions and do goal setting and everything. And then the second thought that I just wanted to lead on to from that is about who's pulling your strings, the title of this little live, which is, very often people say that they want to achieve something or avoid something, but they can't. They say they can't. And when you look at why, well, they can really, but they sort of just think they can't. And I talk to people about who's pulling their strings, who's in charge of their life. And a good way to do this is to think about yourself as two people. Think about your mind as being the thing that's in control, and try and look at yourself objectively as the character that the mind is sort of pulling the strings. And so if you see this character of yours, which is you, not maybe sticking to the routine that you wanted to, maybe not getting up at the time you wanted to, maybe not, sticking to the diet that you wanted to, not working out quite so much, not doing as many sales calls, not going and, taking care of your loved ones as much as you want to, whatever it is that you've set for yourself, you can sort of, with your mind, pull those strings back and say, right, character, we're definitely going to do that. And the saying that I read was that, if your character raises its fists, you pull a knife, in terms of your mindset. And if your character sort of pulls a knife, then your mindset, you pull a gun. So basically, you're always stronger than that character who says, no, I'm not getting up on time. So it's a funny way of thinking about it. But if you think about it, if you are hitting a block whereby you can't actually do the things that you want to do, you have to maybe separate your mindset from the character, look at yourself objectively a bit more and dictate what's going to happen, and keep those minimum standards raised a little bit. And hopefully that will set you on your path to some of the progress that you really, really want to make. And that was really it for the thoughts for today. It's amazing how when I spoke to you on Monday, it was absolutely pouring, and now it's really beautiful. I'm about to take my coat off, and those two are still over there drinking their champagne and having their way to serve some canapé. So I don't know if it must be a special occasion, but lucky them, and lucky all of us sitting here in this, this beautiful weather. So I hope you have a great day. That's just a little tip for mindset from YBMB. The program, the premise of it is that, based on my own experience and that of so many people who've been through the program now, that if you do stick to your routines, if you transform your body, it really helps you with your mindset. If you also use these little mindset tips that I talk about, that in turn makes you even stronger. And then combine those two, fit body, fit mind, you can turn your mind to anything really. And if that's to do with your career, getting a new job, getting a promotion, starting a new business, growing your business, rescuing your business, whatever it is, you're much more equipped to do that. And on the program, I can teach you, and we teach you, my team, to do all of that, to transform your body, to transform your mindset. And then we have a proven business blueprint to help you wherever you are with your business or your job. And we've got so many testimonials of people who've done all of these things, created a body that they never thought they would do in such a short space of time. I mean, less than 3 weeks, really. They're sort of holding their trousers off their waist, for example, if they wanted to lose some belly fat. And suddenly, they've really transformed and, getting 2 job offers when they've not been able to get one before, increasing their top line, winning contracts when they've really had a dry spell, not been able to win any. So we've got loads and loads and loads of real life examples from, everybody really, from high powered individuals through to sort of, people that maybe are just starting out in their career, or, just come back from a break. The thing they have in common is they're all normal human beings like we all are, and normal human beings can achieve great things. So join us on YBMB, and, we'll get you started, and we'll get you some results and the solutions that you want really, really quick. Okay, lovely to speak to you, and take care. Speak to you Friday.